Creative Living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Sheryl Borden.
I'm so glad you joined me today for Creative Living. We're going to learn how to embellish doll furniture, show how to use old doors to create a new look, and demonstrate using one jacket pattern to make jackets for 4 seasons. One of my guests today is Jana Buse, and she makes doll furniture. Today she's going to show several ways to add embellishments to the furniture. Her business is Doll Stuff by Jana, and she's from Ogden, Utah. Another guest is Bruce Johnson, and he's going to show what to do with reclaimed doors from barns, porches, even outdoor sheds. He suggests recycling them and turning them into a beautiful headboard, room divider, or a coffee table. Bruce represents Minwax in Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. And we'll begin the show with Ray Cumbie, who is a custom dressmaker, artist, and designer. Ray will talk about how to have a year's worth of jackets, all made from one great pattern. She's the president of the Association of Sewing and Design Professionals, and she lives in Baltimore, Maryland. Ray, thank you so much for being with us today. I wanted to talk to you about the Sewing Association. I love to sew, and my background is in sewing and fashion too, so I was really interested in how that came about, and there's so much there's beginning to be a little more interest in sewing. There's been a decline for years, so how does your association promote the field of sewing?
Well, our biggest event every year is an annual educational conference that rotates around the country in different major metropolitan areas, where we teach really advanced garment sewing skills, pattern making and design work. And we do invite high-skilled sewers who have trouble finding education and on that level, even if they're not professionals, to attend those conferences and study with us.
Well, I think anything that we can do to get the word out really does increase the interest in.
Yes.
Well, you've come out with a pattern that I think for those of us who like to sew but really don't like the fitting part of it, this is going to be the answer to it.
I hope so. I hope so. It's called Fit for Art is our company, and it's the tabula rasa pattern. And it has a lot of information on how to fit the pattern so that you get a good fit, and then how to use it in a lot of different ways.
And I think that's part of the problem with people maybe who are getting into sewing. They don't realize you've got to do all of the adjustments before you cut out the pattern.
Right, or it doesn't look clean and neat.
Like you wanted it to do.
That's exactly right.
Well, the tabula rasa means a blank slate,
That's
you said,
correct,
and so making a form is really what this is all about.
If you make a muslin or a mock-up, they have different names, then you're able to test your fit to make sure that you like the way the jacket fits. All of these lines are horizontal and vertical balance lines, so by putting the jacket on after you've made it, you can look at whether they are horizontally and vertically balanced to the floor and see where you need to tweak the pattern.
Because we may have a higher shoulder.
That's exactly right.
Depending on how it fits through the bodice.
That's exactly right, yes. So we also offer this side that's flared for people who have more of a pear shape, or we have a straight side for people who have a straighter body. So you can get a good fit at the top without, and we have for a A-B bust cup and a C-D bust cup. So so when you make the mock-up, then you can use it as a way to design off of. You have a form.
This is hard to believe, but this is actually made from that same mock-up.
Right. That's exactly right. It's a little bigger size, because this is mine. But I wanted to break the fabric here and not have the stripes go all the way up so that the flowers could be featured. And in order, with having the mock-up, you can determine where to break it so that it's flattering on your body. So you don't
Which is different for different people.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then I use that design feature to change the band a little bit. So this is our spring version. I've brought
I can see it's almost like a yoke through the back.
Of this jacket for every season, because the fitting of the garment is the hardest thing. So if you can make a pattern and then make it look different for all different seasons so that you can enjoy the pattern. So this is the one that I wear in the summer. It's just lightweight cottons, and they have serged seams and pieced in a fun sort of way. It just goes right in the washing machine and the dryer. And it's great to take, you know, when you're in a restaurant and the air conditioning is cold, or
conventions
if you
or
like to
something.
cover your arms.
Yeah.
But it's cool and easy. And again, it's off the same pattern. The sleeves are just shortened, and it's shortened. So then you move into fall, and where I live, you want to have darker colors, but it's sometimes warm. So this is cotton. These are beautiful.
And these could be lined if once we got to that.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Right, this is all cotton. Again, it's the same pattern, but these are French woodblock cottons, and they've been pieced in a way so that it looks a little different.
And I like the way you've made a cuff so that it can turn back.
That's exactly right, or you can wear it down so that you have a long sleeve.
Some of us have short arms.
That's exactly right.
And we need to make those adjustments.
That's right. So here's another fall version. It's a little cropped version, and this one is lined.
Yeah.
It's a little dressier, but again, you see
the sleeves are shortened.
That's exactly right. And this one is actually quite short, but it's great over a little dress or
more like a bolero type.
That's exactly right. Right. And then when you get into the holidays, you want something fun.
I see what you mean about
this is chiffon, and it has this little flared side, which will be an add-on to the pattern as we move forward. And just done in chiffons, the same exact garment, the same sleeves, the same front band. Just
Isn't it amazing what fabric can do for
That's exactly
design?
Right. That's exactly right. And so every time you want something new, you don't have to find a new pattern, cut out the pieces, fit it. You really have them all ready to go. You know it fits. So the time is so much shorter in making the garment work.
Well, and I always thought the fitting part was
That's
the least
exactly
fun.
right.
So
and of course, this is winter.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
This is actually felted alpaca felt. And then I knitted the sleeves with the alpaca yarn that matched the felt.
You did? Wow.
And lined it. And this is needle felting that I added to. And again, it's the same pattern. And you see in the felt, it looks much bigger because the felt is very stiff. But in the softer shears, it just drapes and hangs the way you like it. And then I have on another version of it here.
I see.
So you can see that you can take that one pattern and make a whole year's worth of fun jackets.
4 seasons worth.
That's exactly right.
And you have a tip for us.
I do. As you do your pattern work, label each piece. You want to make sure you say, for instance, the swing side, and maybe tell when you used it or what fabrics you used it.
Or
so
maybe
when
even
you go
put
back,
a sample in.
That's exactly right. And then I just keep them all in a big, giant Ziploc bag. You can't ever get them back in those little pattern envelopes, you know. So that when I'm ready to make another one, I can pull it out, pick the elements of the jacket that I want to use for that season or that occasion, and be ready to go.
Well, I think this is a great concept, and I hope it encourages people to try sewing maybe if they haven't for a long time.
That's right.
And there are so many resources available now that do make sewing much easier for us.
That's right. That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Ray.
Yes.
I appreciate you sharing this with us. Bruce, thank you for being here. I love to look at websites that feature decorating ideas and, of course, magazines all the time. And old doors are becoming popular again, aren't they?
It fits right in with the recycling theme, and it also fits in with having your apartment or house be unique. And it works in with this idea of let's furnish our house without spending a lot of money.
And something different that nobody else would have.
Old doors, they're great. And you can find them at salvage yards, consignment shops, architectural salvage, sometimes even stuck in the back of antique shops. Or
in your own garage.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's done some remodeling, you may already have some on hand. And, you know, you look at this big piece of wood and you think, well, what can I do with it?
Really?
You know, but depending on the ornateness of the door, I can think of 3 things you could do. A door like this, which is pretty much flat with all these panels in it, you could actually turn into a coffee table.
Oh, great idea.
Put some legs on it. Yeah. Or if you want it to look like a college dorm room, you could just throw some concrete blocks under it. If you had 2 or 3 of these, you could stand them upright, hinge them, and make a room divider.
Or a screen,
divider, right? Or as we've got one back here, you could hang it on the wall as a headboard. Run it horizontally. So there's There's three good ideas you could
right
do.
there.
But the problem with old doors is that
It looks pretty bad right now.
they're old doors. Yeah. So, I always start with, the least we do is the best. First problem you got to deal with is what are you going to do with the hardware?
Yeah.
I like leaving the hardware on when I'm all done for character, but I don't want to leave it on here while we're working because if we're sanding it, we might sand that right over the top of that or get some finish on it. So generally speaking, all you're going to need is just a regular screwdriver to remove the screws, take it off so that we can work on it. And one of my tips is always put the screws and the back plates, put them in a baggie.
Keep it all together.
Keep it all together so you don't lose anything. Because, sometimes our projects, take a little bit more time than we thought they were going to. Next step is, let's see what it looks like if we just clean it.
Yeah,
so we'll take a panel here. Now, you don't want to use ammonia or vinegar or any of your grandmother's old recipes. You just want to use, a product. This is Minwax wood cleaner, specifically designed for cleaning the wood without doing any damage to it.
Any kind of wood?
Any kind of wood.
Wow, that was
And you can
dirty.
see there's some dirt on there, absolutely. So clean it first and see what it looks like, because it may be that we're looking at dirt more than anything else. Then if you got a panel like this one right here that you've cleaned, but you can see that it's dry and lifeless, we're going to take some wipe-on poly, pour that on there.
Polyacrylic.
Yeah, so this is polyurethane. This is actually an oil-based. And we're going to take a rag and wipe this in. And what happens is it actually fills in those areas where the old finish had worn off. So it actually gives you another coat of finish on top of the old finish. And look at how it brings it to life.
Oh, it's much more beautiful than what probably originally was.
Exactly. So you clean it and then put the wipe-on poly on it. And in this case, you may be all done. But sometimes doors aren't, quite this accommodating to us.
Well, and there are some scratches.
There are some deep scratches. And in this one, actually, we have a hole in here. And so we want to fill that. So we're going to take some stainable wood filler. And the thing I like about these little tubes is you can actually just squirt it right into the hole there. And if you need to, you can take a screwdriver and press that in.
And you don't worry about color.
No, because this one, after that dries, you would sand it flush, and then you could take a little bit of stain and touch it up, and it'll just disappear.
I see.
Yeah. But now you did mention that sometimes you get doors that have deep scratches or that the finish is just deteriorated, so we have to remove the old finish. I don't recommend using a belt sander, but if you have one of these orbital palm sanders around, these are very handy. They're very easy to use, and you should just be using about a 120 or to 150, a medium grit sandpaper on there. Nothing too harsh for our door.
No.
But you know what? Nothing beats just the old-fashioned way of doing it, hand sanding. You can't beat this as far as getting into the crevices and that sort of thing. This is probably about a 150 grit, I would guess by that.
A medium.
And you can put it on these sanding blocks and do just as good a job sanding as you can with the power sanders.
And you do go with the grain.
You go with the grain of the wood because you don't want to leave any scratches across there. Now, once you've sanded it then, you've got it down to bare wood. And we want to add, we need some color back in here, because if you take all the old finish off and all the color off, it could look like a new door. So we're going to actually take some polyshades. This is a pecan polyshades that Minwax makes. And it's a stain and polyurethane, because if we're going to use this as a coffee table, we need protection against spills.
Right.
So I'm going to take a natural bristle brush, and as you can see, I'm adding color, and as you can tell by the gloss, I'm adding some finish at the same time.
And it's pretty much the color of the door, which we could see in this panel.
Yes, I tried to pick a color that would be in keeping with how the door would have looked originally. These old pine doors have a wonderful, sort of this amber color to them. And the pecan is just a great stain to put on there, and stain and finish. So this actually is done in one step. You put that on, and when that dries, it's, you got your stain there and you got your finish.
Okay.
And to give you an idea what it looked like, this is the same type of door.
You did the whole door this way.
And I did this with the pecan polyshades. and put one coat on there so it still has that antique look. We don't want it looking glossy and brand new.
We don't want it to look new.
No, exactly. But and then the one thing I would do is go back and put the hardware on here so that people could tell it used to be a door.
Where the door handle was. I see. And then you put some things
you
if
put
you wanted
hooks
to
on
hang
there.
it or whatever.
To hang it above your bed. Makes an inexpensive headboard and something very unique as well.
Wow.
And like I said,
good idea.
Coffee table, room dividers. You got to get creative, right?
Well, and you always do. Thank you so much for sharing all these ideas with us.
Oh, you are welcome.
Jana, it's so nice to have you here, and I know from all of the segments I worked with you on teaching window treatments and draperies, you really like detail. You always seem to add that little extra punch that makes it more special. And so that, I assume, is what we're going to talk about now.
We are, the little touches.
And so many of the things can be inexpensive, they can be scraps, they can be leftovers from other projects, I think.
They can.
But now this has to take the cake. We'll show what this is in a minute. It's an umbrella, of course. But what did you make this from?
There's 2 plastic paper plate holders.
Oh my goodness, you can buy those anywhere.
Anywhere.
And then covered it with fabric, used some beautiful trim on it.
But everything's just glued on. There's
Just
nothing
glue.
to...
No sewing.
No sewing.
Okay, let's show where it goes on the little set. This is PVC pipe. We might ought to mention that. That's why everything works so well and holds up. It's not going to be a problem. You have a little folded flower, and we're going to show a little bit more about that in just a minute. Your Moroccan dining room table is beautiful.
Thanks.
What all, I mean, it's just full of embellishments, isn't it?
Yeah, we have napkin rings there. Those are the jewels. There's a little flower. There's ribbon, a little just dissected flowers tied on them.
You can see those on the arms of the chairs. So all kinds of stuff that you have left in the craft drawer or the sewing room.
Even Christmas ornaments.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea too. This is something that you made, and you said it's actually very easy. It looks like a stained glass piece.
Is that pretty? It's pony beads. Our old pony beads that we have laying around. Put them in the oven at 415 degrees.
415,
You can watch it, but probably 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But if you use a disposable one, you won't have to worry about it whether it sticks.
The pan, you're talking about. That's a good tip. Might as well do that.
I do it twice as deep as you want it to be.
Oh, okay.
It melts down.
It melts down, oh, okay. Trampoline, I mean, every doll, this is all doll furniture in case somebody hadn't realized, but every doll needs a trampoline to exercise on or play on.
They need things to do, I've been told. And I have grommets here. I do have another one that's been done with no sewing whatsoever, but I think the little grommets kind of make it look real.
Now this is our little patio set.
Again, another paper plate holder.
Oh, yeah, I can see that now. I would have never guessed.
And then I've got the flowers and stuff. Now, let me show you how to tie those and put them on.
And I thought it was interesting. You said there's also coasters on there. Why?
My granddaughter did this one. Well, they need them.
To hold their drinks.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's just little
talking
fabric
about
scraps.
Details. Okay.
Together.
That's really cute, I thought. Okay, a shower. I've never thought about a shower for dolls.
I wouldn't have either. Kylie thought of it.
So your
here we
granddaughter
are.
thought about that. Oh, how beautiful.
And I've done different ones to show a variety from this fabric, which is no-sew, to burning the bottom edge.
No hemming.
No hemming. Iron on. And this one's just turned under to hem too.
So if you want to do a little sewing, all straight stitch, so even if you don't have a fancy sewing machine like some of them are now, this is still great.
Every one of these are no-sew.
And some more pillows that have been embellished with some
the tie-on
flowers. Applique.
And the covered buttons.
These are covered buttons. This is what you're going to show us in a minute. You know, we used to put covered buttons on a lot of clothing, apparel, but they've kind of fallen by the wayside.
I like them to actually just really enhance the piece. You make it very custom.
It does. It's beautiful. Okay, where shall we start? You want to talk about some of the buttons that you talked about liking?
I pick up any kind of fabric that I like and just cut out different pieces. on these little monkeys. This one was my granddaughter's, and she wanted the monkey to be there. And you can take these buttons that after you cover them and put them on the flowers, and they make them look not like the stiff ones you bought. But the monkey, the little folded flowers.
Oh, that's the one we were talking about over here.
Yeah, nothing to it. I mean, basically it's a circle, the same size that you want your finished one to be. You cut it that size. I like to pink the edge because they're easier than spraying it.
Oh,
But there's nothing to it. And if you want to put a button in the middle after.
You can do that. It really just gives it that finishing touch, doesn't it?
And see another little flower here. And that would even be cute. And this one down here in the center. But
Different
if you
sizes.
do your own buttons, you get just exactly what you want. And it can match the fabric that you're working with.
Now, what about this? This looks like hand crochet.
You know what? You can buy these at the fabric store and they're cheap.
Okay.
And we've just cut out a little circle to match the rest of the project.
Okay, lots of fun ideas there. A few more.
Just a little bit bigger. And
Oh,
sometimes you can put some of these. This is just stitched, so you have a little bit of dimension on it. It's not a big
If
deal.
you want to.
Ornament hangers work great to hold some of this stuff and hang it from a bed or a table, just something to look cute. A little heart just with the frayed edge. And these little yo-yos, you can buy some of them, but you are limited in the colors.
Well, and they're so fast and easy to make.
They
and
are.
Just pull the thread up. I mean,
All
that's
this is
easy to
easy
do.
to
And we
do.
don't have time to show exactly how to do it, but you have a website that you offer all kinds of tips on.
We have a glossary that we teach people things how to do, and they don't have to pay a thing for it.
Oh,
They
that's
can
good.
download it for free. We want them to learn how.
And what is your website?
Doll Stuff by Jana.
Doll Stuff by Jana. Got it. And you were talking too, at different times of the year, you really watch for savings. Like, for instance, after the holiday season, you can really pick up some inexpensive jewels, beads, all kinds of things.
All kinds of good things.
That's a good tip for all of us. Now, these are those flowers that you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you think you got to find just the right flower, but you don't. Any flower works, and basically you just take it. We'll take one that looks, it's falling apart anyway. But we take it apart on each leaf.
So you want to do that?
We do. Because in this flower, I may only use this one, maybe one more. And we'll tie it on. I have an example right here.
Okay.
Actually, here is this one that I've layered.
Piece of tulle.
A second one, and you just put the ribbon underneath and tie it, and it becomes like this.
Oh, I couldn't figure out what you were talking about tying it. I see.
So it's a whole new look.
It is.
And it's cute in little girl's hair, too.
Oh, good idea.
And you're using 2 leaves. And how many times have you looked for the right flower and not
Or
found
the
it?
right hair bow, and it's just not quite right.
Add this
Make
button
this.
with the fabric that matches their dress. and
Cute
it's
idea.
Perfect.
I'm going to make some of those.
I also like to take them and stitch them down like this one. This one's layered here. This one, I can't see it. I took my glasses.
Now this is the same flower, so you have 3 layers of it in here.
3 layers.
And then
then
you
we're,
just stitch it by hand. Is that what you
I
mean?
do a machine stitch.
Oh, just
And
go around the circle.
yeah, go around the circle, and it holds it nice and flat. And then I
Oh,
like to
and then
put a button.
And that's what you've done here. Put a
Yes.
button in this one. And that can just be glued on, can it?
You can be glued on.
Here's your straight stitching, how you were talking about it. So, boy, even if a flower falls apart like that, it's perfect. It's ready now for a new design.
And you can even take old flowers that you have that have been in an arrangement, wash them, separate them, and use them again.
That's a good idea. And sometimes you can, at hobby stores, things like that, you can find these beautiful flowers for hardly anything. They're just trying to get rid of last year's
Yes.
colors, designs. So take advantage of that.
The carnation is the cheap one and the ugly one you would think, because you never want that on your hair. But look how cute it is.
When
in
you
a
tie it
tie.
up. Okay, well, you've given us lots of ideas of things to do, like you say, whether it's for our hair, for doll furnishings that we might be wanting to make, or just to have fun with and make some home decor items. Well, I really appreciate you being with us today. Thank you, Jana.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn about choosing new kitchen cabinets, show how to make a peel and stick lampshade, and demonstrate a technique called play yarn, which means crocheting with plastic bags. Do you know what room of the home is the most popular to renovate? Well, it's the kitchen, and one of my next guests is going to share tips for homeowners who are considering a kitchen remodel. Another guest who is with Simplicity Creative Group is going to show a quick and easy way to use peel and stick fabric to create a beautiful lampshade. She has several samples she'll show us. And we'll meet a sewing instructor who will demonstrate a technique called play yarn, which means crocheting with plastic bags. It's a great idea for recycling leftover plastic bags in the house. All of these topics will be featured on the next Creative Living show. If you ever have comments or suggestions or ideas for shows, you can email me at sheryl.borden@enmu.edu. I'd also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and in the search window type in Creative Living with Sheryl Borden. Thanks so much. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We're very pleased to offer a new booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. This booklet is titled the 6800 Series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information. And it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. For your copy of this new booklet, go to our website at KENW.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on the booklet or on any of the other booklets we have available online. We'd also like to invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter. Just go to KENW.org and click on the Sign Up Now button and input your email address. Thank you.